Hello, everybody. My name's Deacon Kinney. I will be doing this as my first ever podcast. This is going to be a review of Fitter and Faster swim camps. The swim camp I attended was by Giles Smith. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Giles Smith. Um, from Baltimore, Maryland. He attended University of Arizona. Graduated in 2014. His highlights include 2015 Pan American Games gold medalist in the 100 butterfly, 2014 USA Swimming National Championship in the 100 butterfly, 2013 World University Games bronze medalist, and a 15-time NCAA All-American for University of Arizona. I did not attend all four of the sessions. I attended the 2 afternoon sessions, which were butterfly and backstroke and freestyle. All in all, I had a great time there. His swim camp, it was really down to the point, but at the same time, it still taught you a good amount and really defined your stroke. You went in and you started off with a 300 warm-up in the form of 3 100s. So 2 down and backs. If you don't know what that is, swimming pool, most pools are 25 yards. So you do that. You go in and he has you do what's called the soldier kick drill, which is just arms by your side for a regular, either your freestyle or your backstroke, and you kick. And then you really work on your arm rotation, shoulder rotation when you do that, because in swimming, we want to really rotate our shoulders. In freestyle, it's going to work somewhat like a propeller for our body. And then in backstroke, it will also do the propeller motion while getting your arm further back there and reaching up for that full pull, which will really help your swim speed. You go in, you do that, you really over-exaggerate those rotations. You then do that same drill, but with only one arm, and you over-exaggerate those rotations again, really working on getting that kick going and that rotation off to a good start. You then go in, you do your regular stroke, and you work your turns. Turns are last 20 to 30 minutes of it. The turns were a great experience with that too. All in all, I'd give this camp about an 8 out of 10. There was some improvements that could have been done. There wasn't a lot of dead time, but I do feel that he could have worked a little bit more on the turns and starts aspect. Like I said, you only did turns for about 15 to 30 minutes towards the end, and then you did not do starts at all. So it could have a starts aspect to it, but other than that, it was pretty good. Compared to other swim camps I've gone to one up in Kearney, Nebraska, held by their college team. I've gone to one at one of the Nebraska universities. Can't remember which one it was, but that was a great experience as well. Both those camps were really good. I'd recommend to anybody who wants to do them. But this camp didn't work a lot of starts and turns, which is okay, but the other camps do work more on that aspect. So while still working on things for your stroke, I did like how the fact of he really emphasized that rotation in your shoulders, and then he also really emphasized on creating less drag. So that was a really good aspect in the camp. You do not see a lot of that. I mean, you do see some, but it's not something that's emphasized as much as he emphasized. Price range point, it was about $140. We went up. It was hosted in Ulysses, Kansas. It's about $140, like I said, which is a little bit more for a swim camp, but he is more certified than all the other swim camps that I've been to, so it is a bit more reasonable, but I still would prefer if it was about $40 or $50 cheaper. But what can you do? Towards the end of the session, about 15 minutes extra, you review what you learned, and then if you have any questions for him, he'll tell stories, whatever. That was a really fun experience. He talked about beating Michael Phelps in the butterfly, which was kind of interesting because when we look at the butterfly, Michael Phelps is one of those people you look up to as the best butterflyer around in the world. So that was really fun. Um, he had a lot of energy throughout the camp, which I was really impressed about. Towards the last, I went to the second session. They had two sessions each day. It was over a weekend. They had a session in the morning, starting at 9 to about 11 or noonish, and then the other one you came in about 1ish, and then it lasted till about 3:30. So it was about 3 hours to 3.5 hours of a camp. So, but even towards that last session, he still held that same energy. So I was really impressed with that. Stayed at the same hotel as him. It was pretty cool. Saw him walking in and stuff. All in all, he's a great dude. Like I said, I'd recommend this camp 8 out of 10 on the experience gained. And I would give it about a 5 out of 10 on price point. So all in all, I'd give it about a 6 or 7 out of 10, depending on what you would assume from that. He, all in, once again, I would recommend this camp to anyone. The only camp that I would put above it is probably the one that I attended at Kearney. Like I said, it was hosted by the women's college team there. The women there, they held it, and it was just a little bit more interesting to me. They did diving and swimming at the same time. They had divers. They had, their women's team taught with the younger kids, and then their actual head coach came over and taught us older kids at a higher level, about 10 to, I think the oldest one there was 17. So the only big complaint I would have about it is it was kind of in the middle of nowhere. Ulysses, Kansas, about 6,000 people or so. So it's a bit smaller than my hometown of McCook, but it did not have really anything to do. There was one or two stores to look at other than the grocery store, so 4 or 5 stores in the whole town. Town was really spread out, so that was my only major complaint with that. The pool there that we went to, it was a solid 8 feet, or not 8 feet, 4 or 5 feet at the shallow end, and at the deep end, it was about, I would say about 5.5 to 6. So it was not the greatest pool in the world, but it was okay. So all in all, I would give this camp a 6 out of 10. The pool was crud, but they had a nice summer pool there, which unfortunately wasn't open. But once again, thank you for listening. This was a review over the swim camp by Giles Smith. His credentials are listed in the beginning. I've been swimming for 8 years now. I'm 16 going on 17. I'm almost hitting 17 years. I teach swim lessons and lifeguarding. So I know some of what I'm doing, but there's always room for improvement in swimming. I would recommend this camp to anyone who wants to go.